Welcome back to Seen It Before. We're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan. And we are continuing our Mission Impossible rewatch series leading up to the final reckoning in May.
But don't worry, this mission is very possible to do. We're nerds.
Okay, we're doing Ghost Protocol today, the fourth movie in the start of the second trilogy of these movies. It's definitely a soft reboot, I would say, at the start of this one. Like, they definitely kind of reset it a little bit, but there's a really cool start to it. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a minute. Yeah, I don't know. You want? I was trying to think. I don't know. I don't know if you were going to say something stupid or something, because we usually start out with something stupid.
Well, it's got Tom Cruise in it, and he'd be cruising.
He'd be running.
Yeah, he'd be
running. He'd be climbing.
He'd be climbing.
And
then he'd be falling.
He'd be escaping.
Ooh.
He'd be doing all these things. This is just getting tired at this point. Yeah. So let's get to it.
So Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol. The redonkulous movie.
Hi.
Oh, God. Apparently, it's redonkulous, just like that girl's redonkulous body in How I Met Your Mother.
I actually got my dad to watch that show this weekend. He's never seen it. We watched the first 3 episodes, and he's like, "This is good. I really like this." I'm like, "I know."
I have more fun, like, just bonding with people over that show than anything else, really.
Anyway, this is not about How I Met Your Mother. This is about Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So, Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg in a full movie for once in this one.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple other people. We got Jeremy Renner. We got
Josh Holloway for 2 seconds. We got
Paula Patton.
Where does she do anything else?
I don't know.
That's the only time I've heard.
She was in Precious.
Okay.
She's in Warcraft.
Okay.
So not anything great. Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. Oh, Lea Seydoux.
Yes.
Yeah. We got some good people in this movie. Anyway.
I like Lea Seydoux.
Yeah, we do. We like Lea Seydoux on this podcast.
We do like.
So it starts off in Russia. Or the biggest part is in Russia, I guess, for the start, when the Kremlin blows up. So that's fun.
Wait, no, because it starts off with Josh Holloway getting murdered, right?
Yeah.
He's all like, I'm a spy. I'm a big hotshot spy.
Yeah, and he gets murdered immediately.
He gets fucking murked, bro.
Yeah. And yeah, they're all just like, "Oh yeah, where are you?" And then they get to him too late.
Yeah. Well, this is a year after Lost, so.
Yeah.
I want him to do more stuff.
Josh Holloway, yeah.
He doesn't
need to do more stuff.
He was in Community, you know?
He's getting all the royalties from Lost still. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, there's probably not much.
He was... Sorry, side tangent already. He was in that fucking show. I think it's called Colony? You remember that show? I forget. I think that's the one where they don't have any power or some shit.
No. I've never heard of that show, actually. Actually, I think I've heard it. I've never seen it before.
Me neither. We need to leave.
Okay. Let's move on to this movie. Tom Cruise. He gets into there's this really cool scene at the beginning. So him and Simon Pegg are trying to get through this hallway, and they have this like screen set up, which is really cool. And it's like they keep moving themselves closer to this guard at the end of the hallway, and this screen is projecting the end of the hallway. It's such a cool scene. Brad Pitt's great. Brad Pitt's great at coming up with this stuff.
The thing I love about this movie is that, like, everything's breaking. All the little gadgets, they break at a certain point.
Yeah.
Which, like, that would make sense because it's like, how could, like, this stupid, like, little, like, pop-up screen. It's a genius idea where, like, it changes perspective because, like, that's... You know, that's the one thing, like, it's in, like, the 60s or whatever. Like, they're just doing this effect. They just be, they won't know the difference. And just hold up, like, a sign or, like, you know, that looks like the room.
Still not on you.
There we go. And then, stop it. Then, but it's got to track your eyes, though. And, like, so, of course, when a second person shows up, it's going to fuck with that. Because 2 different perspectives.
Yes. Indeed, but it's a very cool tool. It's such a cool tool to use, though. You don't see it too much. Apparently, I was watching the Mr. Sunday movies for like a review on this movie, and they were talking about like this was in a actually a very similar situation in the actual show as well. In like season something, episode 16. I don't know. They did something very similar with it, with that green screen type thing, or I guess you would call it a green screen projection.
It's the volume before the volume.
It's the volume before the volume.
Oh my god!
But it's not the volume.
Does it?
No, it's an actual set because movies actually should use sets.
You're a little miffed about it, aren't you?
I don't like the volume. I don't like the volume.
Flashback to 4 years ago. I have it on record.
I mean, I probably did say that.
We were both the same.
Yeah.
Well,
it was cool with Mandalorian. They did a really cool thing with it there.
Yeah.
Then they overused it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. So I saw House of the Dragon, like one of the first episodes. It's like, yeah, we used the volume for this, but we had to make it all misty because the lights on it aren't bright enough. I'm like, that's stupid. You know? And the same thing with that fucking Ahsoka with the Clone Wars flashback. That's why it's all like foggy and misty on the beach, because they couldn't fucking, create any other light. They had to do that to diffuse everything. Whatever.
They also said on Mr. Sunday Movies podcast that they go rogue a couple different times in this movie. Tom Cruise goes rogue. Like, he goes rogue at the beginning. He goes rogue in the middle again. And then he goes rogue again at one point. And this movie was originally called Rogue Nation.
Oh,
it was
really?
one of the working titles.
Interesting.
Ironically. So.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't know why it's...
Rogue Nation is called Rogue
Ghost
Nation.
Protocol makes sense because the whole team gets burned and they have to...
And they say the words Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, we're going Ghost,
yeah.
Rogue Nation, the next one, there isn't really any reason to call it that. It's just fucking cool.
Yep.
Same thing with Fallout. Like, what's the point of calling it?
I don't know.
I get Dead Reckoning because that's what... Because there's a sub in it. So, like, obviously... Like with submarines, they that's what they call it. If they're shooting blind, that's what they call it, Dead Reckoning.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why they call it. But the Final Reckoning, is it even really final? Is it Ethan Hunt's final thing? Like,
I think it just makes sense since it was supposed to be a part 1, part 2. They got to keep that name in there. I think this is an homage to originally it was supposed to be the 2-part thing. I don't know if it's going to be the final one. I don't know.
Well, I was told that by Tom Cruise that it's not. Like,
you were told by Tom Cruise?
I told personally. Him and his front tooth. He was all. He told me. It was staring me right in the eye. But no, he said this isn't the. He said I'm pretty sure it's like this isn't the end of Mission Impossible. That might be the end for him, but it's not the end for Mission Impossible.
Maybe he'll become like the head of IMF or something, and then he'll be in like cameos in like the future or something. They'll do the James Bond. Well, maybe not the James Bond thing because like they'll just. I don't know. Maybe they'll use what's her face, Haley Atwell or something now.
Yeah, that's what I think they're going for.
Which is fine. I like Haley Atwell.
I like her. Yeah, she's
just playing Agent Carter in the 7th one anyway. Yeah. So it's like, all right, sure.
It'd be funny because now they're actually finally doing like, because there's always the female James Bond. They gotta make the female James. They're actually doing it right. Like they're not just like throwing it in. Atomic Blonde was close. I really liked Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
It just didn't have. It was too stark. It was too hard to follow.
So, yeah. Back to this. Let's get past the Kremlin because we're pretty much past that part. Is when he goes rogue the first time. So now he's in the car with Jeremy Renner and one of the heads of IMF, I guess. I think. What's his face?
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. No, that wasn't Alec Baldwin.
No? Oh, no. He's in the next one then.
Yeah, no. It's somebody bigger in IMF. Anyway. So he gets killed. And Jeremy Renner and him plunge off into the water, and they escape eventually, somehow. And now they're rogue, and there's only a few people that can help them. And of course, it's Simon Pegg and
Luther Stickle.
Yeah, where's Luther? He's only in one part of this movie. It's
not
upsetting. He's only in one part of this movie.
Oh, shit, I just feel like he's. You
didn't rewatch this, did you?
No, I didn't.
Please stand by. Yeah, this movie. We go to Dubai. Let's just get to Dubai because there's not much that really happens before Dubai. And that's where the big stunt is, where he's climbing the fucking Burj Khalifa of all things.
This is around the time when they're like, okay, we need to start making about the stunts. We need to do something fucking crazy.
I don't think this is the one where they started filming around the stunts. I think the next one is where they started, planning the whole movie around the stunts, right? Mm-hmm. I want to say because that's when McQuarrie came in, and that's when they kind of.
Yeah, then they
did that kind
started
of stuff.
making this. Well, I'd say Ghost Protocol definitely feels like it's in the same continuity as the other ones to me.
It does.
Like it feels like these last 4 movies are just like this is Mission Impossible. The first 3 were like little like sampler tests or whatever. Now we got it. Now we're hitting our stride here.
Yeah, for sure. No, this is the start of a really good, solid trilogy. Unlike the first trilogy. So yeah, Burj Khalifa. They're trying to make a mask to get. Oh well.
There's a whole thing. They're trying to. There's a buyer for an arm. The whole. There's like a nuke or whatever. They're gonna try to.
The guy has the codes, and he's trying to get the codes from Leia Seydoux, and in exchange for diamonds and stuff like that. So
it's a little confusing remembering it, but
no, I got
it. They do 2 different meetings, and then Jeremy Renner's wearing this like eye contact lens and taking pictures of it
and printing it in the briefcase.
Yes, and then I think Paula Patton can just give them or gives Leia Seydoux the actual.
Let's call her Jane because that's her name.
Jane.
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah, it's basic as fuck.
For Leia, you have Leia Seydoux.
No, Paul Patton's Jane.
Oh.
She's Sabine.
Ha.
Yeah.
Nice. Good one.
Yeah. No, it is. Her name actually is Sabine. Moving on. So there are these separate meetings above, 1 floor above and 1 floor below. Like, of course. Why not? Sure. Yeah, so Jeremy Renner, Leia Seydoux, and Jane.
You just said it. You just fucking said it.
What?
Jane.
Yeah, Jane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was getting to that, but I hit the mic with my chin. I chinned my mic. Chin music.
No. Not a hair, mate.
Not sweet though. Not sweet though.
Not sweet.
No. Anyway, so yeah, they're doing this. He prints out all the papers. And he gets the briefcase from her, but then something goes wrong.
Well, because the bodyguard sees
him blinking twice to print. Yeah.
He's like, oh, and then you got like a little tiny contact. Like you see like a little grid on it. It's like, oh, fuck.
Of course you can see that because why not? Sure.
Which also, the most brutal death in this entire franchise, I think. And it's not, they don't even show anything, but fucking Jane just like fucking donkey kicks Sabine out a fucking window
of the Burj Khalifa. Yep.
It's just fucking crazy.
We just completely glanced over the fact of Tom Cruise climbing the Burj Khalifa in a sandstorm incoming. Like,
yeah. So, I like that because they teased the next action sequence that way. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't really like that whole thing anyway, but
what, him climbing?
No, the sandstorm where he's trying to get rid of
it was kind of cool because you don't know where he is, you don't know what's coming. It's a cool way to build suspense.
Yeah, it just felt like I don't know. It's like that scene in Scream, you know, where like there's the remake or not the remake, but the 5th one in 2022.
Yeah, what scene are you talking about?
When Dylan Minnette is about to die.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's he's in the shower and all that stuff. Yeah.
And then nothing happens, and then they do it like 4 times. I'm like, after you see it once, it just ruined. So like seeing like the sandstorm, I just kind of like block it out of my mind. I'm just like.
Makes sense. Yeah, so he's chasing the buyer through a sandstorm. He has goggles, at least. He has the goggles on so he can see. And he's tracking where the briefcase is because he has a tracker in the briefcase. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and then the car comes out of nowhere and hits Tom Cruise. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Or it almost hits him or something like that.
He gets hit by so many different cars and vehicles.
And then eventually the dude escapes from the sandstorm. Of course he does.
Mm-hmm. But he pulls off a mask.
Yes,
like,
he does.
Oh, shit.
Yes, he
does.
He's
a spy. I am a spy.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, right? Yes, indeed.
But anyway, sorry, I just want to go back to the Burj Khalifa scene where he's climbing it. There are a lot of Die Hard influences with the fire hose rope thing. He actually obviously did that for real. And then
because why not?
I also like the suction cup hand thing. It fails. You know, I like this whole like building suspense by faulty equipment. Because they're on their own, and I like that kind of like vibe or that theme or whatever. Like they're on like the back foot this time.
It's Edge of Tomorrow before Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
in that kind of way.
Yeah, because he's not perfect.
That was like his next movie. So that's kind of funny.
Fucking love that movie, dude.
God, I just bought it on 4K. So yeah, like I like that movie enough to buy it, and that's rare for me to buy actual physical media.
That was one of my first steelbooks I ever bought. I think there's some sort of cocktail party I think they go to. So I remember.
Oh yeah,
Jeremy Renner, because they do this is the transition time when like they weren't sure if Tom Cruise was going to stick around for more of these, so they were trying to replace him, like a backdoor pilot for Jeremy Renner to take his place. So that's why they give Jeremy Renner the
hover thing.
The hover thing, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Okay,
he's got to get to like this like fucking air vent or whatever.
Yeah, go through the fan and everything and get to this spot. I forget exactly what it was. I watched the movie like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a lot of like plot that doesn't exactly matter. All we know is they need to get the thing at the place.
Yeah, they're getting the thing at the place while there's a cocktail party upstairs with Jane and
Ethan. The main character.
Yeah, no.
Ethan
I was
Hunt.
thinking Tom Cruise because Tom Cruise.
He basically, yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So yeah, they're mingling, they're macking,
They're mingling their private parts.
He's selling her to this dude, basically, more or less. I mean, he's setting her up with this dude they have to get to, I guess, and she seduces him and beats the shit out of him in the bedroom. So that was fun. And she gets some kind of code from him. I think. Oh, she gets the codes from him. I think.
Mm-hmm. I remember vaguely something.
Yeah.
All I know is that it kind of comes to a head. This is. I barely remember this movie, but I remember it being really good and entertaining. Another tangent here. They copied a little bit of Quantum of Solace, but they made it better.
Okay, good.
They made it so much cooler. Anyway, this one ends with it ends up going to like one of those vertical parking garages. And Ethan's like, obviously going to beat the shit out of this guy because he's just the villain. He's just the terrorist. He wants to blow the place up.
He wants to set a nuke out.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to nuke on the United States for bombing the Kremlin.
Right. And then, so, but I just love like his like nonchalantness because he realizes I can't beat Ethan in a hand-to-hand fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the clock, lock the briefcase, and then I'm just going to fucking commit suicide. But then he just like fucking, just like vampire falls like backwards with the briefcase. And you see his head go. Like,
he's basically dead. And then Ethan's like, oh, fuck. So he has to drive a car off vertical. I was like, oh my God.
Is it like, did he land on him?
No. He doesn't land on him. He lands next to him.
Okay.
And then gets out of the car. It's like,
oh my God.
He gets the codes. He stops it just in time. The typical Ethan stuff. Mm-hmm. And but there's so many cool sequences in this movie. It's Brad Bird's live action debut movie, so that was cool. I didn't even know this movie was made by Brad Bird until you told me that. So, and you know how much I like The Incredibles. It's the best Fantastic Four movie. So
it is. It's an incredible movie.
Fantastic, some would say.
Say that again.
Yeah, and then we get our final, or our only Luther appearance when they're back in Seattle at the very end. He's like, "Oh, how'd it go?" Great. It's like,
we got it done.
We got Luther at least for half a second.
And here's the cool thing: this is the first time that they continued continuity, because at the end, Ethan's watching Michelle Monaghan, his ex-wife. He's like watching over her.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, oh hey, they're connecting it now.
Yeah. And they bring her back, I believe, in the next one, right? I'm pretty sure. Sixth one. Yeah. Fallout. Right. I didn't know who she was when I watched Fallout.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
bitch?
Right? I didn't remember who she was. Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
But I think at the end of this one, they're all talking about the Syndicate, right? And then the Syndicate is the main villain in the next one. So now they're tying it together. I
believe they're talking about the Syndicate. I don't remember exactly. I was like falling asleep at that point. I was like, just end.
It's like really briefly mentioned. It's like, okay, like Tom's like, okay, so now there's this new Syndicate coming around, and then cut the credits.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a good solid movie. It's like just over 2 hours. It's exactly what you want in a summer blockbuster. I mean, it actually made a good amount of money too. I think it made like $650 million in theaters for like $145 budget. So I mean, it's pretty good.
Yep. This is one that 3, in my opinion, became like made Mission Impossible. It's like a hard to explain. This one is definitely like, this is Mission Impossible. Like they hit that line. But I think like 3 did a lot of the legwork to get from the lows of 2 to get to the you know what I mean. Like 75% of the way there. Like 3 did it.
Yeah.
And then this one's pushed over the edge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Would you say this movie is redonkulous?
We're not bringing it back to that. So in our rankings for this, we still haven't gone back and seen what we actually said. All I know is I have one at the bottom, or two at the bottom.
Yes,
I have
we both do.
3.
I think our lists are the same.
They're
now.
They're similar. I don't think they're the exact same.
Well, okay, so because here's the thing, because I think in the first one we were doing the blind ranking thing where we put them in exact spots, but then in the second one we started just making like create them like as we stack them. So whatever.
You know what? I'm gonna write this down and we're gonna go through these all again right now since we're halfway through these movies.
I think I did. Hold on a second.
Oh, did you actually? Oh shit. You definitely did. You definitely did.
I definitely
fucking
did.
Liar. God, I hate you.
Well, I hate myself.
All right, hold on. I'm going to write these down now. So, hold on. We're going to redo this. One I'm going to put at number...
You really like one, so like I thought...
3. I'm putting one at 3. Now I got to write this. Hold on. Okay. Now number... Mission Impossible 2. Where are you putting it?
8.
Right. We both are in agreement on that.
It is the worst one.
We are putting in agreement. We are both there.
It is hands down the worst one.
3.
3? Oh, that's actually kind of hard. I think I'm going to put 3 at 4.
You know, that's a good spot. 3 at 4. Actually, that's a really good spot for. I agree with you.
Oh, shit.
Shit, we're going to have like almost the same thing.
Well, because now I'm making a trap for the 8th one.
4. Now what are you going to give this movie? Or where are you putting it, should I say?
See, I already screwed myself. Damn it. I guess 4 I'm going to put at 6. Yeah, I guess I have to.
That's fair.
Because I know my 1 and 2. Those are...
I'm going to put 4 at 5. So we're the same on 3 of these movies right now.
Perfect.
God, you bastards.
Good.
You son of a bitch. What do you give this movie overall, though?
I give this movie a good 85. I'm the 85 guy.
Yeah, we know. I'm giving this movie since it's at number 6. These all are really good movies. I mean, overall, I think we give this one an 82. It's solid. It's still above most movies. It's got a pretty decent script. It's really cool gadgets that don't like to work in this movie.
Yeah, so, like I remember the important things. I don't remember the plot points or the names of the who the fuck's this terrorist
guy.
Yeah,
the character development isn't the greatest in these movies, but like you know who most of them are. You know, at least know Simon Pegg and Tom Cruise. You know their characters. I mean, that's all you really need. All right. Anyway, so now that we got that squared away with where we are on these, yeah. So our next movie for the actual podcast is Robert Pattinson and Bong Joon-ho, Mickey 17. This was going into the year my first hyped movie of the year. So I'm real excited to see how this one fares and if it's kind of like, I don't know if it's gonna be like a dark comedy or if it's gonna be like a straight comedy action sci-fi thing, maybe a little cyberpunk-esque. I don't know what's gonna come into this.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely doesn't look, because what I know Bong Joon-ho to do is Parasite and Snowpiercer, Okja, lots of political or social commentary.
There's gonna be a lot of that in this. I can tell you that right now. You can easily you can easily tell though, like with at least Mark Ruffalo's character.
It's gonna be like capitalism with an expendability and obviously.
Yeah. So it's gonna have some political elements to it for sure.
I'm just glad that we're not doing the haves and the have-nots story again.
Yeah, definitely doesn't seem like that.
You know what I mean? Because like Snowpiercer and Parasite are so fundamentally similar. You just put like Snowpiercer is just Parasite with like a sci-fi skin on it.
That's fair. Yeah.
So like, yeah.
But he's going back to the Snowpiercer route of adapting a graphic novel. So this will be very interesting to see what he does. Because I believe the graphic novel was called Mickey 7. So I'm interested to see where the 17 is coming from. Maybe they're just making more copies of him. Probably to make it.
I bet you there's just going to be like a really long montage of all the ways that he dies.
Yeah, like, and there's like random ones I believe they mentioned in the trailer. Like there's Mickey 1, Mickey 17, Mickey 12 or something like that. So I'm interested to see how they're going to play that out.
Right. So the main character is the 17th, and then there's an 18th copy.
Yeah.
At the same time.
And then there's also Mickey 1, the original guy.
Yeah.
So there's probably at least 3 of them we're going to see a lot. So that'll be Oh god, is he gonna play his own villain too? That's gonna be really funny. I mean, I know it seems like Mark Ruffalo is being set up to be the villain in this movie, but I don't think he's probably just gonna be like a pushover. That's my guess. So yeah, we just went on a tangent there. We're wrapping this episode up here. So our next thing, as I said, was Mickey 17, which I probably just mentioned. I'm just thinking about. So you're getting that twice in a row right there. You're welcome. We're Scene It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @Scene It Beforecast. That's SCENE It Beforecast. And you can find me on Letterboxd with DonutMan96. I'm Dan.
Hey, I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Danny. Or my letterbox is serialized at DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but yeah.
I say it all the time. That's how it works.
So how we're just going to talk now? We're just going to
I guess so.
Okay. That could be fun. That could be a fun episode of like 5 seconds and then it gets old.
I'm already sick of it. I'm sick of myself.
We'll see you next time.